Tonight's episode is brought to you by Hellofresh. Go to hellofresh.com/80CAGcast and use code 80CAGcast to get $80 off, including free shipping.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 665. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who's also not giving out any refunds, Wombat.
No refunds. It says it on the sign.
Ooh, boy. I'm glad that we had some controversy this week, because otherwise we'd have nothing to talk about.
No, it's a good thing.
Shipwreck, how you doing?
People are complaining that my
you?
audio's too low, GP.
Speak up.
Complain that Wombat talks over my intro when I immediately speak.
You know what? It's good that he did that because it gives me time to adjust. And now I fixed it, and it's perfect.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Am I better? Am I better too?
You're You're the best, to be honest.
Shipwreck, tell everybody about yourself.
He was drinking his beverage. I think it was a beer. I didn't
No,
catch it.
no. I interrupted Shipwreck. Let him speak. Go.
Hi. It's great to be here.
Too bad your daughter's not there. You could hide behind her right now.
This is when you're supposed to ask if the show is always this boring.
I know that for a fact.
Anyway, it's snowing out. We've got no school tomorrow. It's already confirmed. We got the phone call, pre-recorded message from the principal.
And now that everyone in this house works from home, there's no weather stress about it. So that's nice.
But the kids have no school, even though...
Yeah, the kids have no school.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they could do it virtually now. We have the technology. Now's the time that we're not going to do it.
Did you get some long-winded email from your school superintendent talking about the sanctity of the snow day like we did? Because that's a thing that's been going around.
It was very short. It was like a one sentence. It was like, hey, take the snow day and have fun with the kids and go sledding.
Ours is like 3 paragraphs long about the history of the snow day and why it's important in these trying times to remember that snow days are an important part of growing up and that many memories are built during snow days and that we need to cherish them and take the time to enjoy snow days. And that's why they're declaring it now instead of waiting until tomorrow morning. It was like a whole thing.
Weird.
Like
I wonder how people like in Florida feel about that.
Fuck them.
I would trade no snow for snow days.
Yeah, they get summer all year round or whatever nonsense they get in Florida.
Right.
But they get no memories then. There's no memories to be had.
Yeah, they are. They're just all sweating. All the memories of them sweating and sunburn. I mean, I do have good snow day memories, I feel.
Yeah, me too.
Snowball fights and snow forts and
sledding.
Hitting people in the head with ice. No, wait, it's ice. Yeah.
Getting your face held in the snow by your brother until you say, hey,
I didn't know that. No. So yeah, it's a big show. I think, is this our last show of the year? Pretty much.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do one more, but I don't know.
But next week is Christmas, and yes. Wombat and I have a lot of Christmasing to do.
I have to go caroling,
and also
that's one of the neighbor ladies down the block.
Right. We gotta prune the bushes. Oh yeah, we could get a show in the week after. I'm looking at the calendar.
Yes, I was gonna say probably
okay.
A week after.
Oh, so the show's not that big then. Forget it. But we do have our top 5. No, we don't have our top 5. We have our fave 5.
Our fave 5s.
Because a lot of games come out now, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands of games. I wonder how many games you think came out in 2020 for real. Like,
I know the number.
No, you don't.
No, of course not.
I mean, if you take into account that there's like 30 Switch releases every week.
Right. Do the math. Just on that. just do the Switch releases.
It's like 1,500 games, right?
It's so many games.
It's a lot of games.
So there's no way that we're playing these games, all these games, or even like a significant portion of them. It's just, we all have lives. Some of us have lives, and my hands hurt also. But we'll talk more about that when we get into our Fave 5 later. I think it'll be pretty interesting. I think Shipwreck and I have at least probably just one game. I think
we have some common ground. I think.
Just one.
I think you two are gonna have one game in common. I will have nothing in common with.
Maybe two. Actually,
Well, no, I may have
two.
one. I'm gonna say I'm gonna have one in common with Shipwreck, none in common with GP.
I'm saying two. Me and Ship are gonna have two in common.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Yep.
We will say.
Okay, it's
later.
us. We're gonna be
like a
able to
half
say.
hour or more. So yeah, everybody looking forward to shoveling tomorrow. Ship doesn't have to do that. I don't think.
I mean, we're getting snow, but
No.
Do you have a snow blower? I feel like Chip has the machine.
no, I have the guy.
You have
The
a
guy
oh, I'm sorry.
is
You
good.
have a
I want
guy.
a guy.
Yeah.
I should get a guy.
I don't have a guy. I do have a shovel. I don't have the machine. My neighbors all have machines, and they all laugh at me. But what can you do?
I have the electric snowblower that I bought for $200.
That does nothing.
It's the problem is the cord. If it was battery powered, at least I wouldn't have to be struggling with a cord. If it's still
No, real
sucked,
men have the gas powered ones.
I'm afraid like it's gonna blow up in my garage, or I'm also afraid to spend $800 on a snowblower.
Yeah,
That's
like literally everyone around me has.
But the driveways are pretty small over there.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the thing is, if we double up the cars in the driveway, I'm pointing to the driveway as if everyone can see it.
Right. It's in the kitchen.
There's very little driveway left for me to shovel.
I mean, there's not like some big long drive. I mean, my neighbor across the street has a crazy driveway, and he's got a gas powered. He's got like one of those like half a U driveways.
Mhm.
What do you call that?
Half of you.
Half a U? No.
I think it's semicircle.
An FU, I think. Semicircle? Yeah. That sounds right. Anyway, got one of those.
I mean, I could get one of those, but at the same time, then I'm storing it
Right.
no
Exactly.
reason. Like I'm storing it for 10 months out of the year
Right.
for just like the occasional time. So it's just
The guy is good.
the guy is good.
I should look into
He
that.
shows up. I don't have to tell him to show up. He can see that it snowed outside
Mm-hmm.
and he just shows up and
You saying you don't even need an app for that?
no, nothing.
He just looks out the window and knows to go to your house?
and he goes, it's like two swipes at it, right? Like he's got his little like I don't know, Bobcat thing or whatever that just
Okay. Yep.
comes up and shovels it away.
Swish, swish. And
Swish,
What's
it's,
a
swish.
Bobcat thing?
it's like a little Zamboni,
Fuck. I've never even seen that.
like a golf cart and a Zamboni
Oh, you
had
ride
a
it?
baby.
It's like a riding snowblower?
It's a you don't know what a Bobcat is?
I
He
mean,
does not.
It's like a
know.
little construction vehicle.
What? I've definitely
Yeah.
not seen that.
It's like a one-man
You-
little construction
You have
vehicle.
100%. Think like a forklift.
Yeah, but not with snow.
without a fork
I've
on
not
the
seen that doing anything with
It's an
snow.
attachment. You put an attachment on it.
Yeah.
We don't have those around here.
Yes.
Those must be a band. They probably cause cancer. I don't know. What should we talk about? Where are we on this outline?
Show feedback, probably.
Is there show feedback? Did anybody have any feedback?
Do you want me to read the show feedback?
Sure.
All right. Excellent. Wow.
Oh my God.
What? Stop it.
happened?
You're hurting my brain. We Heat had to say, I'm putting a stop to this now. It is not a hamburger button unless you press that button and 20 minutes later, a Burger King shows up at your door. A pictogram of three of the same thing on top of one another is and always will be a stack. You do not fold shirts, place three on top of one another, and call that a hamburger of shirts. I do now. My wife will say, put away the shirts. And I'm like, there's a hamburger of shirts on the bed.
Right. Delicious shirts.
Delicious hamburger.
Is that your job as well? My job is to do all the laundry and get it to the rooms that they go in. And then I'm done. Like it's
That's
like I don't
nice.
know where all this stuff goes.
Well, I have to put my clothes away. I'm responsible.
Right, I'll put mine away. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah. And Sabrina's clothes go on Sabrina's bed for her to put away because everything is very specific in there and it's none of my business. But for the boy, it's like, I guess it's really whatever happens.
It's on the floor.
It's
do
like
they come out of
Vegas.
the basket for the boy?
in his room, it's like Las Vegas.
What do you
Whatever
mean?
happens in Elliot's room stays in Elliot's room.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Yeah, the button names though are still stupid
Yep.
for the Xbox.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
select and start works good, or menu and start. Menu and start. Or I don't know. Anything but pictures. You can't right.
I have no idea what to call that select button on
Select.
Yeah, it's select.
Yeah.
What else?
This is from the Discord. Elite Willie has to say, really weird how much people care about Wombat watching TV. Let that man live his life. Meanwhile, everyone is cool with how often Shipwreck goes to Target to take pictures of the clearance rack. LOL. Chibi going in on Mando again is hilarious. Can we get a new Chibi shits on Mando section on the
I'm not
CAGcast?
shitting on Mando. I am providing constructive criticism. And Shipwreck is not probably spending that much time taking pictures of Target, I'm thinking.
Just like I'm not taking that much. Not anymore.
Now
Because
he's not going at all. He probably hasn't
Yeah.
he's probably been to Target twice this year.
I don't know about that.
Maybe more than that, but not much more.
3 times.
Not every day anymore.
Wombat,
No.
what should we call the shitting on Mando section? I mean,
Mando Loserin.
no.
I think it's not so much that we care about. Like, I don't care how much TV Wombat watches. I don't want to
care.
get to get it misconstrued that I'm like judging Wombat for how much TV it's watching. It's the amazement that I have that he's literally seen everything.
He's found the hours in the day that you don't think exist to watch.
Pretty
things.
much.
Right.
And it's mostly like a weekend thing.
To watch things that you didn't know existed.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all good, Wombat. Hey, look, it's content for the show. That's the
I know. I think
worst
everyone's
case
gonna.
scenario.
I literally watched one thing last week, so everyone's gonna kind of be disappointed.
But it was
so-
18 hours long.
no, it was over 2 hours. But
That
It was
one
Ken
thing was
Burns'
the
Civil
TV.
War.
yeah, I watched the entire Roots.
It was I,
So-
Claudius.
I watched The Big Bang Theory from the pilot to the last episode.
How'd you like it?
You know, it's good at the beginning. It gets a little wonky towards the middle, and I didn't quite understand why at the finale Sheldon wins the Nobel Prize, and he takes Wolowitz and Kuthrapali, but he doesn't invite his mother to watch him get the Nobel Prize. None of that made sense to me. He hates those two guys, but his mother, who he loves clearly, does not get invited.
Wait, did you really watch this?
I saw
thought
the
this was a
finale.
joke.
I saw
thought
the
you were
finale
joking.
like through the finale of The Big Bang Theory has bothered me for like 2 years now, but I'm glad I got that off my chest.
All right.
For a show that he didn't watch.
Right.
Yep, I watched the last episode.
Just the last one. You had to go back and revisit.
Yeah, I want to know how it ended.
Well, you can find out how it started.
Yes, exactly. You can watch it all on HBO.
They made that
Max.
show. They made the prequel show, right?
Yes.
Isn't that
Oh,
still
that's
a
right.
thing?
I can honestly say I've never watched one episode. Of
I found
Young
one.
Sheldon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
but
e- I don't
for
even
how
know-
long can you say that?
I don't even know what the characters on that show are. I don't know. I literally have no idea. So
Right.
I think you named 2 of them. I think his mother and
Sheldon,
Sheldon.
but he's young.
I have no reference of that show. Like, I don't know anything.
Oh, what?
It
About
must
the
have
Big
been
Bang
on when
Theory?
I was in Japan.
It
and-
was. It was on when you were in Japan. That's when it started. And it also started when my wife and I were, newlyweds and we didn't go out much. So we would be in bed and watch TV.
Boning, watching Big Bang. Hey, how about this Big Bang Theory?
Exactly.
What's your theory on this?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, except I guess that the actress is in my new favorite show, The Flight Attendant.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you should watch the Harley Quinn cartoon that she's in too.
Oh, is she the voice of Harley?
Yeah,
We
and the
watched
producer.
the first episode or two. It was good.
It is good.
I love her now, I guess. She's my
Yeah.
new favorite.
Yep.
Not really. Some other show feedback that's not on this outline is I edited all of last week's show on Twitch and got some good feedback about that. I don't know if I should do it again or not because I don't know that I have anything else to teach at this point because I just pretty much showed you what I do and you can just watch it again because it doesn't really change that much. But it was fun. And even though it took me longer, it felt like it went by faster, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it again this week if I'm bored, but we'll see. That's it for the feedback?
Yeah, two things. I think that's enough.
All right. How about Watch This, Boys?
Yeah, am I going first? Because I see
Please,
mine's
your
on
one
top.
thing that you watched this week.
Okay, I know I don't. I talk about these a lot,
Yes.
but I don't think I've ever said you should watch one.
Me.
Watch
Me.
you. You should watch the Bee Gees one.
I like the Bee Gees.
It's Bee Gees. I think it's what's the full title.
How deep is your love? That's a good name.
What do you do with a broken heart? I think is what it is. How do you mend a broken heart? Sorry, that's the song.
Oh, I broke.
And it's really interesting. It's really well made. It's it's sad at some points because a lot of it is about, not a lot of it, but they touch on how Barry Gibb is the only one left of the four brothers.
They're all dead?
Yeah.
Or they left?
No, they're dead.
Oh, they're not hiding somewhere?
No, Robin, Morris, and Andy are all dead. So you're stuck with Barry. And and it does that thing. It's really well made. It doesn't do the thing I hate in these documentaries, which is when they jump around in time.
I know that you hate that.
I hate it so much.
Do you hate it in a feature movie too, like a regular movie?
Yeah, it depends. In a movie, if it's well done, like
Pulp Fiction, did you like that?
No, it doesn't bother me in Pulp Fiction. I like that in Pulp Fiction. I don't like it in Rocket Man.
In Pulp Reality.
No, in Rocket Man, the Elton John movie, they jump around in time in that movie in ways that don't make sense, and that kind of pisses me off. But
it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
It seemed fine.
But in the Bee Gees documentary, they literally go for it like beat by beat. That's how they bookend everything, by telling you like in 1965 we did this, and then in 1970, because it's actually the years are important to the structure of the documentary on where they were in their careers, because they had so many ups and downs that it's actually kind of remarkable how long their career was as a popular musical group, and then their careers as songwriters after they weren't popular anymore, and all the hit songs they wrote after that. So it's really
I don't know. That sounds really boring. Is there a lot of drugs and sex in this?
They were two of the three brothers were only married once.
Oh no.
And Barry's still married to the same woman, and Morris was married twice. And he was divorced.
What about the drugs?
There's some drugs. Yeah, there's drugs. Well, there's Andy. Andy died at 30, so you get that whole story.
Well, he's out of the picture too soon. Then it's going to be so boring the next 40 years.
No, he dies in 1990.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds great.
What's it called? I'm telling you, it's called.
It's called
the Bee Gees.
Saturday
it's on
Night
HBO.
Fever. John Travolta plays Barry Gibb.
He would. But you should watch it. I'm telling you, I think you would actually like this one. As music documentaries go, it's like top 3.
All right, you did a horrible job
what the other two
it.
Are.
Was that, Chip?
I'm not going to ask what the other two are.
It's the history of the Eagles, and maybe the George Harrison one. It's like Flip Flops, maybe the George Harrison or the Bob Dylan Scorsese ones.
I want like things getting thrown out of windows, people beating each other.
I know you would like the history of the Eagles. That's that one. That one's insane. But that one is 5 hours long. You will never watch it.
Nah, I'm good. Maybe Bee Gees just because I like the music.
I know, and I think you'd be surprised. I don't know if you know all the songs they wrote that weren't Bee Gees songs.
Did they write that? I forget.
Yes, they wrote Belchin in the USA.
Oh, there goes the snowplow.
Nice.
Oh, I should have put a plow on the Amazon delivery truck. That goes by the screen when we do this show live on Twitch. By the way, we do this show live on Twitch Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. on the Cheap Ass Gamer channel. Just called Cheap Ass Gamer, not channel. Anyway, it's fun. You should watch. You can make things fly across. Oh, there it goes. There goes the delivery van. You can set things off like that.
You should have a Bee Gees one.
Sponsored by, hey, if you want to sponsor the show and have like a Bee Gees DVD fly by the screen, or what's it on, Netflix or something?
It's on HBO.
HBO Max. If you want to sponsor
you guys
this.
could both watch it. I mean, I think Shipwreck would like
I don't
it
have
too.
HBO.
I thought you had that app.
No. Why would you think that?
I don't know.
He's trying to pare down his.
I know. We've had this conversation too many times. But anyway, Cheapy, you should watch it. At least start it. So you could say, I started it, I got bored real quick, and I turned it off. And I'll say, oh, at least you gave it a shot.
Sounds good.
I watched a lot of your things lately.
Good. Oh, so I should watch this? I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try. I watched one of my favorite movies with Ty and Mrs. Cheapy as well, just to see. I feel like he was right on the edge of being old enough for this one. Unforgiven.
Hell of a thing watching Unforgiven with your son.
It is. You take away everything he's got and everything.
You take away everything he hasn't seen about Unforgiven. I don't know. There's something.
Anyway, the movie holds up great. I think Ty enjoyed it. He's unfortunately he tries to he talks during the movie because he wants to make comments, and I have to shush him during the key scenes, which is I get is not probably a great experience for him, but it's in my blood. I have to do it. So, but the movie's great. The movie's so good. Unforgiven. If you haven't seen that, I think that's got to be the best Western. Not The Hotel, but movie.
I think it's a Motel 6.
It's not. I haven't seen. I heard True Grit is good.
True Grit, the Coen Brothers remake is very good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so I think we're gonna watch that next, and that's PG-13.
Yeah, I recommend that movie. And if you want to watch a fun one, there's always Silverado. Tombstone is a very good modern Western that Ty would probably enjoy.
Too.
It's longer than you probably remember.
It's a lot of too much sex, I think, or
there's no sex in Tombstone.
No, that's true. Too much talking.
I heard the Lone Ranger remake that was supposed to be really good.
The one from it's funny. I thought you meant the one from 1980. I forgot they made that Army Hammer Johnny Depp one until after the words were coming out of my mouth.
How could you forget that? They made Disney Infinity toys for that.
I know, and I watched that whole movie. Oh, is that bad? They really just made.
Of course you did.
Oh, it was so boring. I was excited. I like Westerns. I like the Lone Ranger.
Right.
I'm like, I'm sure it's bad, but it's probably going to be fun.
Right.
Is what I went in with.
Right.
And it wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun. Everyone in the chat is saying 310 to Yuma. Young Guns 2.
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I could get behind Young Guns 2.
Tombstone I really liked. Tombstone.
That one's a pretty fun movie.
Young Guns 2. I don't know that I'm familiar with 2.
Ooh, The Quick and the Dead.
Quick and the Dead. Yes, I've had that on my list. I showed Ty the trailer for that. That's a good one too. But that's not. Yeah, that's another Gene Hackman.
That is another Gene Hackman. You should do a Gene. Didn't you watch Mississippi Burning with him or no?
No, we watched Crimson Tide.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's also Gene. No. Yes. Yeah.
I know.
This is gonna be a big fan of Gene Hackman. I love Gene Hackman.
I know. I guess he's very old. Is he dead?
No, he's still alive. He lives in New Mexico.
He hasn't made a movie in 20 years, right?
No, he retired. Good. He's allowed.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've also watched on HBO. I don't know if I talked about this one before, but we watched another episode. How To with John Wilson. Have you heard about that, Wombat?
Nope.
It's a half an hour comedy series. I think didn't I talk about this? I feel like
You probably talk about a lot of things that I wouldn't know.
The guy's
I just blank out during this section of the show, so I don't know.
Have HBO.
Yeah.
He's a New York documentarian, and he does voice. He films a bunch of crap, and has a subject. The first episode was how to small talk, and it's mostly just weird shit around New York. The second episode was really interesting and almost like real reporting. As the great Ben Gilbert pointed out on Twitter, which is how I convinced Mrs. Cheapy to watch it. I said even Ben Gilbert liked the second episode. It was about scaffolding in Manhattan or New York City. You know how there's scaffolding everywhere, Wombat, all the time? Do you know why? No.
Because it's a racket.
It's a racket, right? So you're going to find out about the racket now, and in a really funny way, because the guy's very funny. He has it's weird. He's got like a speech impediment or something, or he just says maybe not a speech impediment, but his whatever he's saying, it's not edited. So if he fumfers or pauses while he's talking, it's
if he
just
what?
Fumfers.
Fumfers.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a word.
Yeah.
I've never heard that word before.
Oh, you're not
See,
Jewish.
and that's what you get for paying attention. You learn something. It's when you
Is this a Jewish word?
no, it's when you can't when you
I understand what it means. I've
And
just never
then-
heard. You're doing it right now.
I
get
know,
it.
I was doing it on purpose.
Uh-huh.
Right, that's it.
That was the
He
joke.
does it a lot, the guy, and it could make you not want to watch it. I think it really bothers. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't bother Mrs. Chibi. The uncomfortableness of it bothers her, but it's really cool. We've only watched 2 episodes, but I'm probably gonna force. It's good because it's short. You can, there's not that many things that are only a half an hour. That's on HBO Max. We also watched the first episode of Manhunt: Deadly Games on Netflix. You know what that is?
No, but it sounds bad.
No, it's the Richard Jewell story. Remember Manhunt Unabomber, which was really good, starring Vision, the actor who plays Vision. It was really good. He was really good at that. So this is the next in the series, and it's all about the Atlanta the bomber.
Richard Jewell didn't do it.
And
spoiler
Richard
alert.
Jewell, and we watched the first episode. It's really good. Like the guy who does Richard Jewell, he plays a schmo amazing. It's great. Like even the way he wears his pants, it's fucking amazing. But we only watched the first episode, so I can't really say. But it's a investigative crime drama. So based on the Richard Jewell story. That's Manhunt: Deadly Games, and it's on Netflix. I think it was on some other cable channel earlier, but now it's there.
So fumfer is originally a Yiddish word.
Oh, I guess it is
Of
Jewish.
course, yeah, I wasn't really kidding.
No, I think that's a regional thing. I've
Of
never
course
heard
it
that
would
before.
be. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure, we got a lot of that.
I enjoy learning that word. I
You
like
don't
that
know
word.
schmutz, probably, right?
Yeah, I know
Oh,
that.
you know schmutz? Oh,
Shayna Puddum, do you know what that is?
no.
No, it sounds delicious though.
No, yeah. So Shayna Puddum would be delicious. It's a delicious Shayna
Mensch,
Puddum.
you know Mensch?
A Shayna Puddum
Yeah,
is a
I
famous-
know
That one-
Minch from Minch on the Bench.
Oh, right, yeah,
Available
that
at
one
Target.
transcended. What else we got here and watch this boys?
Do you know what a
Did-
schmendrick is?
That's just made up, and you can schmendrick any
It's not
word.
made up.
That one is not made
You
up.
can just schmendrick any word that you want.
No, isn't that that's like a dick, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, so is a schmeckel.
Schmeckel is a dick too. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's Yiddish, I think, straight up.
Yeah.
What else we got in Watch This Boys? That's not.
Did you
Yiddish.
guys check out the live Grinch musical? On
I heard
NBC?
it was super awful. Was it super awful?
All I know is I read Justin McElroy's tweets on it, and I didn't see the musical, but I laughed so hard. He described the actor who played the Grinch. I guess the actor who played the Grinch as 87% too horny. And I didn't see anything. I didn't even see a screenshot of it. But
I guess that could be it's not like there's anything close to being sexy about this.
right.
It's just it was a weird portrayal of the Grinch for sure. And it was told from the dog's point of view.
Right.
And Wombat wouldn't like it because it's all out of order chronologically. Like you've got the old dog right
That
alongside the
only
new dog.
bothers me in documentaries and biopics.
I mean, we're talking about the Grinch here. It basically is at
Kind
this
of a
point,
biopic.
right? You're basically just making up new ways of what the Grinch was doing besides doing what he was doing.
Well,
My-
the book's only 30 pages, so you got to really stretch that. out.
Right. To get an hour and a half musical, you've got to make up a whole lot of songs.
Right.
It was my daughter really enjoyed it, but she really likes musicals. And so there's some catchy tunes in there with Dr. Seuss types rhymes. So
Sure.
they nailed that part of it. The rest of it, it was just really weird. Do you guys not watch any of these like live musicals that they put on TV?
I don't have time to watch TV as much as you.
I don't have TV. I only have streaming.
I was
Wombat.
gonna record it and I forgot. And then
Oh, great! It's on my Plex server, so
exciting.
don't worry about that anymore. You have
Don't let it slip away.
it. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
But yeah, the Grinch musical, it happened.
Pass. Pass.
Rightfully so.
Let's do new releases. Well, Let's do, you know what? Let's do a word from our sponsor maybe before we do new releases. And then
A word from our sponsor, a sponsor that we all love and hold near and dear to our hearts, HelloFresh.
a sponsor that I had 2 of their products this week so far.
I've had 3 of their products so far this week, and that is HelloFresh. HelloFresh offers convenient, no contract delivery to your doorstep for easy home cooking with the family. Recipes are easy to follow with simple steps and pictures to guide you along the way. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in about 30 minutes. It's delicious and nutritious. HelloFresh offers fresh, high-quality, pre-portioned ingredients so you can make meals that are delicious and nutritious. HelloFresh is the first global carbon-neutral meal kit company. By skipping the grocery store and using HelloFresh, you're reducing your food waste by at least 25%. You can easily change your delivery days or meal plan preferences, and you could skip a week whenever you need right on the app. Also, HelloFresh is committed to donating to those in need. So far in 2020, they've donated 3.5 million meals. You can help too with HelloFresh's Beyond the Box program, where you give nutritious meals to those experiencing food insecurity with just a couple of clicks in the app. I had steak with mushrooms tonight with roasted carrots and roasted potatoes. It was divine. I had French onion chicken last night, and that was amazing. It was chicken with sauteed onions and melted Swiss cheese on top. So it was like French onion soup on a piece of chicken, and it was with garlic bread. It was so good.
Sounds good.
I don't think I can overstate how good it was. It was
Good.
bananas ridiculous.
You're saying it was good.
I'm saying it was good. I'm saying it was as good could be. And you may have heard us talk about Green Chef recently, and today we're talking about HelloFresh. HelloFresh owns Green Chef, which allows them to offer a wider array of meal plans to choose from. Just go to HelloFresh.com, 80CAGcast, and use code 80CAGcast to get $80 off, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com, 80CAGcast, and use code 80CAGcast to get $80 off, including free shipping.
Nice. Thanks, HelloFresh. Thanks, Wombat.
Anytime.
Shall we do the new releases?
Now we'll do new releases.
Now.
So any games come out last week?
Any low profile?
Any high profile releases? Anything?
Space Invaders Forever?
Oh, that sounds awesome.
That hit? I'm interested in checking that one out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
What
know
is
about
it?
you guys.
What is
It's 3 Space Invader games in one convenient package.
Wow. Huh.
One of them is the Arkanoids Space Invaders mashup.
I'm not familiar with this.
Oh, it looks cool. Like it probably has the booms and the beeps that you like, GP.
Boom.
Does it have the sweeps
Boom.
and the
Boom.
creeps?
I think it's got all of these things, all the key things
Boom.
that GP's looking for. It's got Space Invaders Extreme is the name of the game, I guess, right?
I don't know these. I don't
No,
even know
Space
these
Invaders
games.
Forever is the name.
Forever. So you got Space Invaders Extreme in there. That very
Oh,
clearly.
yeah, I remember these.
Yeah, you remember Space Invaders Extreme.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
Space
awesome.
Invaders,
All right,
but
looks
it's
great.
extreme.
What else we
What
got?
about Space Invaders Gigamax 4 SE?
$30.
Yeah, it's a bit much for Space Invaders.
That's $10 a Space Invader.
Yeah, that's a bit much for a Space Invader.
All right.
It'll
What
come
else
down
we
in
got?
price. We also have the Accidental Queens collection for Switch.
What's that about? I'm
That's
afraid
Adam
to ask.
Lambert's game.
What? What did you say? It's a what?
I said it's Adam Lambert's game.
Oh, yeah.
You
Accident.
see,
got
he's
it.
the lead singer of Queen,
I get it by accident. It wasn't really an
Yeah.
accident.
but it's still a funny joke.
Right.
Yeah.
Shipwreck laugh. That's good. That counts for a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, exactly.
Adam Lambert's in my wheelhouse of comedy. Yes.
Mhm.
Uh,
he loves a good Adam
If
Lambert.
you just say Adam Lambert, you're gonna
Well,
laugh. Is that basically
Seriously,
it?
Chippy, what do
pretty
you want
much.
from me?
yeah.
I'm writing that down.
He was on one of the mini holiday specials this year. I forget which one it was, but
Wasn't he on the tree lighting one?
he might have been on the Rockefeller one. He was standing in front of a well, precariously in front of a well.
Wells for Boys.
That dude can sing. There's no doubt
Yes,
about that.
100% he can sing.
And he can
He
play
is
guitar.
hilarious
too.
to watch just because he's pure theater, right?
Mhm.
Like he's just pure theater.
He was on Howard Stern. He's on Howard Stern a lot, actually.
Is he?
And
Good for him.
He performed on his birthday show, and he did Purple Rain, I think. And apparently, he's a really good guitarist. Like,
I don't doubt it.
like very good guitarist.
He's a very interesting dude, right? Like to watch him sing and the notes that he hits.
Like that.
He's fast. That note right there.
Yeah,
I think that was
it.
it.
Yeah.
They
recognize that?
actually made a whole documentary about it.
What's it called?
And you know I saw it.
Yeah.
Is that American Idol? Is that
No,
was that the
no,
documentary?
like Adam Lambert and Queen documentary.
Oh,
Wait, they made a documentary about Adam
Him
Lambert.
joining Queen.
That wasn't a contestant show.
No. He just got the job. He didn't have to like do a reality thing to get that job.
Well, he did. He did American Idol to get that job.
indirectly.
Indirectly, it was many years after American Idol that he got that job.
What was it? Journey that they had the actual show for that?
No, Journey. That was the guy was like an internet sensation for sounding like Steve Perry, and then they were like, "You should have the job," and then they just gave him the job.
What was the rock band? Are you sure? I
Yeah,
thought there was a
you're
rock
thinking
band.
of. No, was it Judas Priest? I want to say it was Judas Priest that did because that was the one that they did the movie, the Mark Wahlberg biopic on. The rock star movie that he
Right.
was in.
Yep.
I want to say that's based on Judas Priest.
I must just be thinking Journey because of Randy Jackson.
And there was a
Alice in
reality
Chains.
show.
Somebody said it in there was an Alice in Chains one.
Oh. I don't remember that one.
Jack
I
comes
believe
through
you.
again.
I'm still convinced Journey had a show too to become the lead singer of Journey.
Journey to Journey.
I think it was a podcast.
People are just mentioning all kinds of classic rock bands. I guess they've all done this.
Mhm.
They've all had reality TV shows.
I remember the Partridge Family reality show.
I don't.
Emma Stone won.
Sorry, I'm distracted by emergency vehicles.
So
Oh yeah, talking about big releases last
Yeah.
week.
Oh, by the way, since the year is winding down, I want to shout out tech-gaming.com, where we get the new releases from every week, consistently putting out quality lists of the week's new releases. What else can I say but tech-gaming.com? Thank you. Consistent. Yes, we can talk about Cyberpunk. Time? Is it time?
It is time. I've
Oh.
played some Cyberpunk.
There it is. You got it.
Oh, you got it. You got Cyberpunk.
well, I didn't get my pre-ordered copy
No,
from Best
no.
Buy. That
No.
still has not shipped.
Wait a
Did you
minute.
cancel it?
Hold on.
You
Slow
can't
down.
cancel it. It's in a state of limbo. You can't do anything with it
So why'd you go buy another copy? You're not going to even open it.
because I don't know.
Right. Exactly.
It's
I
because
understand when you told me that you don't like when you have an outstanding
Yeah.
shipping thing. I at least I can see that. I can understand that. But you didn't solve that problem at all. You just went and bought
I just went and bought it from
Right.
Walmart.
You just went and
Because,
bought for no reason though. You're not even going to open it.
I think my reasoning was that Walmart had it for $10 less than retail.
So you're just going to cancel the
I
hopefully-
don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
They've thrown me off my game here, Best Buy, by telling me that they were letting me pre-order a game 18 months ago, and then it comes out and it's available at Best Buy, but it's stuck in shipping for me.
And you
Which
think
makes
And many
zero
others, many
sense.
others as well.
right?
I know it makes no sense.
Well, you had a shipwreck. You had an idea of why you think that happened.
Oh, it's not a Best Buy issue. It's a third party logistics shipping issue, right? Like it's something is going on because it's going on with Target as well. Like it's the holiday season, but it's screwed up beyond belief because of COVID as well. And yeah, I think there's just like a trailer of these sitting on a dock somewhere that somebody hasn't gotten around to
right.
taking off that trailer. They're there. I'm confident that they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere. And I don't know if Best Buy is going to send me this before they automatically cancel it on the 23rd, which is insane to me because the reason it matters is this was like, I bought it with GCU and it doesn't matter really, like who
Right.
cares, but I bought it with GCU. It had like the $10 reward certificate, I think, with it. It had like the free steelbook,
Right.
whatever.
You're
Like
getting
it's like
full on discount Best Buy goodness.
yeah, it had everything going for it.
And you want
Do you
to see
still
that
get
sort
all
of-
that, like the steelbook and whatnot, when it
Yeah, that's
ships?
part of the delay. It's which is unusual too, because usually they send out the steel books before you get the game, in a lot of times. But it's clear like something's got really hosed up with the shipment of these pre-order versions of this game that we're going to a separate warehouse, not we're stocking Best Buy or stocking Best Buy online warehouse.
Well, I'm 10 hours in, and I'm going to tell you should have just waited.
Oh, I'm definitely going to wait to play it. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Let's hear about this.
Let's talk about just the game first. From Wombat's playing on the Xbox Series X.
Yes, I am.
We'll talk about all the ancillary stuff after. Just let's hear about the game from Wombat. He's the only one of us who's actually played any of it.
You know, it reminds me a lot, and I know I'm not the first person to say it. It does remind me a lot of Deus Ex as far as the game itself goes. You're, a guy in the future. It's first person. You can hack stuff because you got cybernetics in you, and you shoot guns. Like
I remember that world feeling really dead to me when I played that game.
Okay, it's definitely a more alive. The world is fairly alive. I mean, there's a lot of people, and you could scan them with your eye just to see that they have a name and no affiliation, because that's 99% of the people in the world. You scan them, and it'll be like David Abrams, no affiliation, and then you scan down, and it'd be Shipwreck Guy, no affiliation.
What if they had an affiliation?
Then it would say like gang member, current bounty $15 or something.
Oh, and then you could like jack them up.
And then you can like shoot them and get $15 if you really want it.
Now that's next gen gameplay.
The game takes its time. It was like a good 2-3 hours before I really shot anyone. Like you do like this first mission where you stealth around and it's short, and that's how you get the call from the big boss to do the big mission. The big heist is coming. I'm not spoiling anything. This is literally before they even say the title screen. Oh, by the way, it takes like 5 hours before you get to the title screen.
Every game does that now.
That's how you know it's a quality game. That's the pinnacle of, hey, how long can we wait to show our title screen? Because we're a big deal.
Yeah.
They wait for you to finish the quote unquote, the big heist that you're planning for. There's literally like 15 minutes of you sitting around a table with 3 other people, and they're like regurgitating nonsense that you don't care about. Like the amount of time it takes for you to get the assignment to go on the big heist.
Can you skip it, Wombat?
You can like hit the button and it like fast forwards. And I was like, okay, I get it. I got to get into the, there's a hotel room and there's a case in there. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. It's a video game. I've played games before. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your position is in the world. I know there's
world building.
I feel like that's an issue for you to enjoy a game like this.
It's interesting on how slow it is. At one point, you have to one of the things you're doing is getting this drone robot. And getting the robot was actually kind of fun because you go into a warehouse and there's gang members, and that's
were there any copies of Cyberpunk in there?
There might as well have been.
Pallets.
And I shot up a whole bunch of people, and I'm using weapons, and it's and that was fun. And then you get to the robot, and I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do the thing. And they're like, well, you got to send the robot in first. I'm like, fine, we'll send the robot in. And you think you're going to control the robot in the vents? You know, because that's a new unique thing, using a robot in the vents. Never seen that in a video game before. And you don't even get to control the robot. You just point to a highlighted area on the screen and then the robot goes there. Like a point and click adventure game.
Right.
But that's like 20 minutes of that. Like, it's cute the first
This
time.
game's gonna be awesome in a year.
It's just the game really, you know, we talk about it with movies a lot. And where, you know, if only this movie was 20 minutes shorter, if they just edited it down and streamlined it, it would have been so much better. I know I'm only 10 hours in, but the game really needs to it just needs to streamline itself to get where it's going. Because when you're playing the game, it's fun, but there's a lot of in between that's sort of less
These guys finished the
interesting.
game in like 22 hours.
I know. I'm gonna wait, I think, for the first big patch to come out at least before I really want to play it again.
Makes sense.
I feel like I would been. I did one side mission where I had to talk a woman into leaving town, and it looked so bad that my son walked past me and he looked at the TV and he goes, "Is your Xbox broken?"
Oh fuck.
That's
That's
bad.
Exhibit A in the class
It
action
was
lawsuit.
hysterical because he really thought there was something wrong, and
Oof.
B, yeah. He goes, "Is there something wrong with the Xbox?"
Yes, son, there is. It's
Because
called.
no, and she looked weird. Like she had like really long arms for some reason. Like she was like a little weird looking. And it just, I don't know. And again, I think there's a lot of good there. I think there's good in the weapons are all unique.
Does this game excite you in any way, Wombat?
It excites me in the way that an open world RPG excites me.
The dress up? How's the dress up?
The dress up's fine. Actually, I like the dress up because you get you can get stuff that, you know, affects how you look and also your armor. And if you want to wear your best looking gear, generally speaking, you're going to look like a douchebag. And I kind of like that. Like everything's going to be mismatched and you're going to look like a real asshole. And
That's what you want to aspire for?
Yeah, and that's what I
Aspire to.
aspire for. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
How's
But
your
on
cock in that game?
I did not. I went with boxer shorts. I picked the not picking a dick option.
I don't even understand that. Why is that even in the game?
I don't know. I think
Is
it has
that
something-
just to get on Fox News?
I guess.
Yeah, it's just a selling point, right? It's the same reason I guess the game's full of dildos, right?
Yeah,
Right.
which they're patching out apparently.
Sure, but that's a story that, of course, you want to be the people that are patching out the dildos.
Right.
Like that's
It's
where you
another-
want to be at.
Just want to mention dildos as much as possible, probably. Like if you want to be on TV.
I think the game would be.
Or-
I would prefer if the game had like a third person option, like a Fallout or a.
Dildos?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about dildos.
I'm sorry. I was
dude.
reading the chat while.
Oh.
Yeah, I was wondering where the segue.
I know,
I'm
to
sort of
dildos, the
changing the
third person
subject.
action was.
The game's in first person, so you don't really get to see what you look like very much. So what does it matter how big your dick is? If there was like a third person option where you could click a button, so when you're at least walking on the street, you can
Right.
see what you look like
From
maybe
You
behind.
it
see how big your
matter?
dick is, then you're
Yeah.
in.
From behind.
from behind.
If you had the right angle, I get maybe.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying it looks great on PC, but good for you. Maybe they should have just released it on PC then. I don't know.
I feel like it feels bad to like everybody piling onto this game, certainly, because there's a bunch of people who worked hard on it.
Right.
But I don't know. Like this seems somehow worse than No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky was literally just a team of, I don't know, less like 12 people or so, somewhere in
Something-
that range.
yeah.
Right? Like it was small.
That was a game that got hyped up out of the
And it-
control of the
And
people
it
that
probably
were
wasn't
making
their
it.
fault, right?
Yeah.
Like they weren't out there in the forefront to the extent that Cyberpunk was. The disappointing part about Cyberpunk is like they leaned into the hype of all of this and they knew they were hiding stuff. Like
Right. They
that
made-
statement that they put out, that is just a terrible statement. Like I don't understand how they put that statement out of where they basically said, yeah, we knew it was bad and released it anyways, and we're sorry about that. It's like, no, you don't say that. Even if you know that was the fact, you never say that.
Right. It makes you see. I mean, it's just horrible. It's just.
They
what's the
basically
upside
admitted
of saying that?
Yeah, they admitted that they hid the console versions from the public because they didn't want the public to know how bad the console.
And that's fine. That's fine to do that. Every game does that, right? Like every game doesn't
I don't know if
show
every game does that.
No, every game doesn't show the switch.
Oh, I lost your audio.
Yeah. Ship, we lost your mic.
Ship. Oh no.
Uh-oh. We lost Shipwreck.
We lost Shipwreck.
I'm back.
Oh,
Yay.
you're back.
Zoom quit unexpectedly.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, but
And no, I find that when most games show footage, they'll usually say what version of the game they're showing the footage of. You do see that a lot.
It's always managed, though.
Yeah, it's always managed, right? Like it's not the.
Sometimes it'll say in engine, sometimes it'll say not final version, but there's usually some little print on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. They know which version looks the best in any game. That's what they're going to show. And if there was a problem with one of the versions, I'm sure they'd be less.
But I can't remember the last time there was a release this big in the scope of things where the difference was so dramatic that it was such an issue.
That it's broken. The problem is that they not only did they know that they were putting this thing out on basically was not just a shell of a game on the base PS4 and Xboxes, but there's so many of those out there. And when they sell when they sell this game, they're selling so many of these on console. There's 160, 170 million PlayStation 4 and Xbox Ones out there. You're selling most of your copies on console. So
somebody in the chat, Case X in the chat was mentioning Fallout 76 as a comparison. That's not even an apt comparison of what's going on here. There was just nothing to do in Fallout 76, right? And we kind of knew that going in.
Yeah, I think we all, at least I knew what Fallout 76 was going to be before I played it. So I wasn't shocked or surprised by that. What surprised me...
And it wasn't a broken game. Fallout 76 was by no means broken. You could play it. Like, it was a fine game to play. I put in, I don't know, 10 or 15 hours into it of doing nothing.
Trying to figure out what you could do.
Right.
Yeah.
And also like Knucklebone says in the chat, like he loves it. He played it for 2 years. Yeah, it's definitely a thing and it progressed over time. Still not.
I don't know if Cyberpunk can progress that way other than fix it.
It can.
Other than fix itself. Can it though? It's not like it's a persistent game. It's going to be a game that when you finish it, you're going to be done with it and that's the end.
But they're going to want to sell you DLC certainly, and whatever they did with Witcher, I'm sure they're going to want to do with this. And also, they said they want to do an online version, but I'm sure everything's going to be pushed back now because the game's not done yet. The base game, the game's
not done yet, and they need to figure out. They need to finish it, I guess, and then I'll be happy to go back into it and say, no, I would take back everything I said back in December. Here it is March, and the game's fantastic.
And what about like the videos that I sent you on Twitter with the traffic about how the game doesn't really there's no driver AI in the game, and so what the game does to avoid traffic, just cars piling up everywhere, is when the player turns around, any cars that are stopped, when the guy turns back around, those cars will be gone. And same with the pedestrians.
It's not great, but that's not a thing that I'm like that concerned out of, like if the game is playable or not.
But I think about, you're trying to jack a car or something. Sees like some cool car, right? I'm assuming you do that in this game. I don't know.
No, you just call your car and it shows up.
Oh, for real?
And then you get in your car and then you drive to where you need to go. And I don't care about.
How's the driving in the game? Excellent or fantastic?
I try to skip it as much as I can.
It's bad driving.
Well, that just wants to skip past this game.
I don't
at
like
all
driving.
times.
I like driving in driving games. I don't like driving in shooting games. This is a shooting game, not a driving game.
But isn't there a lot of driving in it? I think there is.
But I have a problem with it in a lot of games. It's why I didn't like Watch Dogs either. Too much driving for a shooting game.
If the driving, is it because the driving isn't good or because you don't want any driving?
It's the same kind of driving as in all these games, where it's follow the yellow line in the top of the screen, and you're driving like this.
Oh, but I kind of liked it. I mean, if the driving is good, I like that. Like Saints Row, like the shirt.
You know what? Saints Row the Third has decent driving, but they also put the line in the street. It's the only one of these games that puts the line in the street, and doesn't put the line in the top corner. Put the line in the street. Don't tell me it's not realistic enough when I have a computer in my eyeball that, I went to a doctor who cut my hand off and put on a robot hand because that's the way the game is telling me. You could put a goddamn line in the street.
They'll have that in like September of next year.
Right? I think it makes such a huge difference because, again, you're looking at where you're going. You're not looking at the map in the corner. And you actually can pay attention to like the other things that are in the environment.
Cossacks in the chat points out that they changed their Twitter bio from next gen open world RPG to next gen action adventure
story. It's cinematic. I saw someone say, it's one of the comments that I thought would make sense to you guys. I don't know who to quote. It's like a Yakuza if Yakuza had no charm.
Cool.
Great.
Yakuza's only charm.
I know that's why I'm saying this to you guys, because I know you understand what that means. That's the description of the game. Like, oh, I need to remember that because they're gonna want to know what it's like. I'm
gonna play it. I'm looking forward to playing it. I just am not gonna play it until February, I guess, when they put out the second of the big patches.
I mean, I guess that's what you want to do, is just wait until they finish it.
I'm gonna treat this like a Ubisoft game. And give it a little time to settle.
Well, I guess it also depends on the Ubisoft game. Not all of them.
I think you need to give it more time.
The majority of the Ubisoft games are much better after 2 months.
The current Assassin's Creed is fine,
but it was a little fucked up at launch.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah, they had the screen tearing thing. I think they fixed that.
Yeah, but they fixed that fairly quickly.
Yeah,
not March.
I'm gonna wait to play it on PC. It's only going to get better. But and then how did this game go from being a huge 100+ hour epic RPG to 20 to 40 hour or 20 to 30 hour?
A wise man once said that no game exists until you can buy it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I've heard that before.
Smart man. This smart
man.
Handsome.
Well. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not that tall, but handsome.
No, but handsome.
Yeah.
No game exists until you can buy it.
What a fuck up.
Yep.
What a complete fuck up. And now, like Shipwreck pointed out in our little message group, anything you read about it on Twitter, at least in our timelines, it's nothing. It's no one saying, "Man, this game is fucking sick," or like, "You check out my guy."
Yeah, even like check out this kill or something. Like the normal, like, hey, check out the. It's all just negative press on the game.
Like you have
to search out something positive about this.
There's part of me that thinks it's cool to shit on the game. I don't
want to shit on this game. I really don't.
I don't either. Like I said, some of the weapons are cool. Shooting people. The enemies are a little bullet spongy, so I actually did tone it down. But I liked walking around with the shotgun and shooting someone through a window. That was kind of cool. I like that. Yeah.
It's yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna just like Ships. I think I'll check back in February when Ship checks back in. See where the PC version's at by then. I'm sure they're. I don't know. I'm not sure of anything. What a mess.
There's better things out there right now. Is really what it comes down to.
All right. What else we got? New releases. That's it.
I think that's probably it for new releases.
Yeah. There's no other new releases.
Pixel Junk Eden 2. I feel like I should at least say that out loud.
What is?
Pixel Junk Eden 2.
Oh, yeah. Where's that?
I think it's on Switch at least. I think.
There it is.
I see that. $9.89.
All right, let's move on to Wombat's fortnightly news. Oh, this is all Cyberpunk stuff.
skip.
What
Just
about
like
the
Wombat would
dildos?
on a cutscene. Just skip,
Skip it. Like
skip.
Push B.
they
Pushing
realized
B.
there were too many dildos. They realized two things: the too many dildos, and the game doesn't work.
But
They
yeah,
gotta fix those.
yes, the game should not have come out this year. It's not their fault per se, but what can you do?
Okay, then let's
It's
move
somebody's
on.
fault. I feel
It's what? Say that again.
it's somebody's fault that it came out, right?
Yeah.
It's somebody's fault.
it's the
And
management's
maybe
fault.
it made sense to come out in this time frame because it's not going to affect them financially.
It will
right?
not. Right. Well,
Like
their stock
they did
went
this
down a
whole.
lot.
We didn't even talk about the return situation on this thing, right?
Oh, we
Like they
gotta
said,
talk
oh
about
yeah,
that.
you can return it if you want to, but then they didn't talk that through with anybody. Like that was actually in the return stream of how
Right.
you would do this,
like PlayStation or Xbox or any retailer.
or Walmart or
Right,
Best Buy.
any-
I'm sure as well. Like if you show up to Best Buy with an open game and say, "Yeah, this sucks," like they're going to be like, "I
right.
agree,
Right.
sucks."
Give
You
you another
bought
copy.
it, right?
Yeah. So they botched that whole thing too. Like CDPR, like the PR does not stand for PR. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But seriously,
PR.
that was bad, Wombat.
That was amazing.
Seriously though, who made that? Who's making these decisions? Like, why do they not check with their PR? They have a PR department, obviously. They are like in hibernation
They
now,
saw how many pre-orders there were.
and they just don't care.
They were like, "This is how much we're gonna make
$500 million.
if we release it right now.
Yep.
This is what's gonna happen. Even if everyone hates it, doesn't matter. Everyone on the top could literally quit and cash out now, and that'll be it."
And the people at the top might have not been given the correct information either of the situation where it really was, right?
Also, I feel like there's
You don't know where it went wrong, but it went wrong
they knew.
somewhere.
You think the people at the top didn't know like that it didn't work or looked like hot trash?
I think the people at the top can be told that it is manageable. Yes.
Right.
I
There-
think CDPR now has a big hill to climb with whatever they're going to announce next. My guess is that it's going to be The Witcher 4 because they're going to need something that's going to have that kind of recognition, and we're not going to see it until what year is it now? We're not going to see it until 2025, the earliest, maybe 2026, and that's what's going to happen.
I don't know. It's bad.
I
Oh,
feel
bad.
like this is salvageable. I truly do. I have
I
not
think the
played
game
it.
will be
I think it's
salvageable,
going to be salvageable.
but by the time it's salvageable, will anyone care?
I don't know that there are any games coming out between now and when this is salvageable. That
I don't know. Another Far Cry? I don't know.
is there another Far? You just assume there's another
There's
Far
another
Cry coming
Far
out
Cry.
in the next
There's
2
another Far
months.
Oh,
With the
Halo's
guy
not
for-
till September, right?
It's the
Something.
one with the guy from The Mandalorian.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
games coming out, but nothing. Cyberpunk, I don't know. It's too depressing.
Mm-hmm.
It's too depressing. But let's do our fave 5 of 2020. That's not depressing. At Richvos writes in, he says, I'm interested to hear you guys' top 5 when I literally think you guys played a total of 5 new games this year, LOL. I think one guy played Last of Us 2. I think one guy played Ghost of Tsushima, and maybe someone played Final Fantasy VII Remake, LOL. Love the show. Did somebody
None of
play
us
Last
played
of
The
Us
Last
2?
of Us. No, none of us played The Last
No
of Us.
one's
2.
playing.
Who played Final
I don't know if
Fantasy?
anyone played Final
I-
Fantasy.
Okay.
Did you play Final
I
Fantasy?
played. I have not finished it, but I have played it, and I do enjoy it. It did not make my top 5 because I did not spend enough time with it. but,
Because that game came out 25 years ago and doesn't count.
it's a totally different game. It's not a. It's
do you
not
play
a.
as the same characters. Is the story the same? Same game.
Kind of. It's not a remaster. It's a remake. It's a different game.
I don't know.
All right.
You don't know. That's why I was telling you.
I don't know.
All right, so let's do our fave 5. Remember, this is not a top 5. It's our favorite 5. I see in the chat people are getting it wrong already. It's not top 5. It's our favorite 5. We have not played, just like this dude said, he's not that far off. He got some of the games wrong, but we played some games, but, it's a lot of fucking games. So, in fact, I had a hard time coming up with 5 games that I mean,
Yeah.
I could easily pick 5 games that I liked and 5 games that I played, spent a few hours playing. But I had a difficult time coming up with Ship Over
Oh,
Time
we lost Ship again. He's back. He's back.
I had a difficult time coming up with a 5th game that was my favorite, that I would say, oh, this is my favorite.
5 was the hardest. 4, the top 4 was pretty easy.
Right.
It was 5.
Yeah.
So let's say, we'll start with you, Cheapy. What was your number 5?
So to be honest, I did not write anything down, but I will, because I guess I should choose something. But it's under protest. I'll choose Hades. I enjoyed playing Hades. I could see I had fun. I looked up on Steam. I only played like 4 hours of it. So I have a hard time really classifying this and saying, this is one of my favorite games of 2020 because I only played like 4 hours of it. But I said we're doing the Fave 5. So Hades is my...
I still haven't played any of that. I feel like I should.
Yeah, you would like it. It's you know exactly what it is. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, what should I play that on?
Doesn't matter. I don't think it matters.
Doesn't matter. I can play that on Switch.
Oh, that I don't know.
Yes, you can.
I didn't know that
Physically,
was
yes, you can.
in the selection.
I'm hoping it comes out on another console at some point. That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay.
What do you got there, Ship? What's your number
the chat
5?
says zero fun in the chat says it runs fine on Switch.
So I played a lot of games this year, but a lot of them were with my kids, and a lot of them were games that did not come out this year. Like I played through, I think, half of the Lego games that have ever been released this year. So I'm not picking Kamen Rider like somebody says in the chat. It did almost get there. I am going with number 5. Again, this is not a top list.
Favorite.
Let's get that straight. It's the G.I. Joe game.
Wow.
Nice.
G.I. Joe Operation Blackout is my number 5 game, simply because somebody made a damn G.I. Joe game in 2020, and it was not
Awful.
a disrespect to the franchise. It's not a great game. I mean, you look at the Metacritic, it's probably around a 50 or something like that, right? But I enjoyed it because the interactions were right and the characters were correct.
Cool.
So G.I. Joe Operation Blackout, probably the best G.I. Joe game ever.
Okay.
Excellent.
Fair. That's
Yeah.
better than the Commodore 64 one.
Yeah. This is better than the Commodore 64 one.
Cool. That's awesome. We should put that on the box.
Yeah.
All right, Wombat, what do you got for your favorite 5?
D.
Number 5.
Diggler in the chat mentioned Spirit Fair and says that no one will mention it. But it's not in my top 5, but I will mention that I did play that game and I enjoyed that game, but it just didn't quite hold my attention long enough to make my list.
Okay.
That could also be said for The Tourist, which was another.
The Tourist was quite good. It was in the running, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's another almost was. I'm putting this in my top 5 only because I played so much of it, and I know technically it's not new, but I'm putting the Marvel season of Fortnite as my number 5.
I don't like this choice.
That's fine.
Fine, I'll accept it.
It's I couldn't really think of something I really enjoyed.
It's fair.
It's fair. It technically was this year, and
Ty asked me if you could pick. He's like, "Is Wombat going to pick Fortnite? Is he allowed to pick Fortnite?"
He's going to pick Fortnite. We all
said
that.
yes, and he's allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm putting it at number 5.
That's
it's not
fine.
like
no one's gonna complain.
No one's gonna complain. I think that the Marvel season was an interesting thing to do this summer at the same time that the Avengers game came out. It's actually kind of ballsy. Not that they did it, but that they actually pulled off Marvel characters in a better way than the video game about Marvel characters. So,
spoilers. It sounds like Marvel's Avengers is not going to make your top 5.
No, it's not going to make my top 5. So it honestly, it would have been like one or the other. And if the Avengers was just a little bit better, it probably would have overdone. I would have put it on the list over Fortnite because I do feel like Fortnite, yes, it's a cop out of a pick.
No, it's not. That's fine. I mean, this is what I said to Ty is like, look, they're not putting out Fortnite 2, right? They're not putting out Fortnite 3. It's just Fortnite, and they're gonna keep, upgrading it. So
Yeah.
that's it's fair to pick. Okay. Favorite
Yes.
game number 4. Let's start with Shipwreck.
Sure. Number 4, I had Animal Crossing.
Okay.
That is a really good game that I played a lot with my kids and my wife. My wife and my daughter are still heavily into the Animal Crossing. I weaned as the year went on, but I still put a significant amount of time into that game. And it was, that was the pandemic game, right? Like for this
Yep.
year.
Mhm. It's also my number 4.
Okay, great.
So, yeah, no, it's you and I are simpatico on this one. It's very similar reasons. It came out at just the right time. My daughter and I played it together. She still plays it. It became a big part of our life this year. So, and it's, you know what? And Nintendo did exactly what they needed to do with Animal Crossing. They did not say like, okay, this is what Animal Crossing was, but here's what it's gonna be now. They said, here's what Animal Crossing was, and it still is. And here's a little bit
they added
more.
a little bit to
Yeah.
it. Give them some credit. They did modernize it a little
Oh,
bit.
sure.
And
Yeah,
added
but
content.
But they didn't reinvent the wheel with it in a way that made it not Animal Crossing.
The amazing thing
So-
is it's so unique of a game in itself. There's
Mhm.
nothing else that's quite Animal Crossing. There's
Yeah.
plenty of farming games and simulation games, but there's nothing that nails Animal Crossing for what it is. And
Nope.
it could be just the most mundane thing, but it's still enjoyable to screw around with.
Yeah, and it's funny because there are a lot of games that try. I remember there
Sure,
was some.
I would love to be like, hey, we put out a game that's like Animal Crossing, get half the sales of an Animal Crossing. That sounds like a
Mhm.
great idea. It's just not.
They're
can't do
never.
it.
They never work. They always are missing that spark, that charm, that works, that makes it. I don't know. There's the comfort of just talking to Tom Nook. There's something very comfort food about that. And Blathers and the familiarity of all of it. Then with all the new stuff that they add in, that makes it feel like you're doing something different, and you are, but also the comfort level, especially during the height of the pandemic, kind of made it just a perfect storm. And number 4, and Cheapy, you're up. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Nice.
That it would have been higher on my list if it wasn't so, if the combat was more interesting. I feel like that game survives on its charm for me, on the characters and its charm and the writing and the environment, the way that they reproduced Japan, the cities of Japan. It's just unbelievable how good it is. But the combat, I feel like I'm just sort of wasting time. It's not particularly satisfying.
Have you gone to auto combat at this point?
I know that that's a thing, but is that what I should be doing?
I think so. I switched over to auto combat.
Okay.
And it makes everything just go a lot quicker. You still have the timed button presses
Okay.
as part of the combat when you do the auto.
Sure.
But it actually can be smarter than what you are about using items, because I don't know if you're like I am, but I never use items.
Correct. That is me.
Yeah. You just buy all these items or have them and you never use them.
Once in a while,
Right, but the characters
sucking
actually,
candies or something.
if you put it on auto, the characters actually use those items, and it makes it. You see a lot more stuff on auto than you would if you were just playing and going through your usual motions.
Interesting.
Right?
You're saying it's more interesting to watch on auto?
I think after you've played enough of it, which you have,
Yeah.
I would switch over to
Okay.
auto.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know that would doing that's gonna make that move any higher up on my list, but I definitely appreciate Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's just that the combat, it's like, are there a lot of those dungeons you wind up
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
That's the surprising part. Like that dungeon happens pretty early in the game,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh no, is this going to be a thing?
Right. Where I can't
And
avoid the combat.
I'm 40 hours in, and
Ooh.
there's not been another dungeon.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's just a one-time thing from what I can tell.
Okay. Cool. So
I will say that I'm at a point in the game right now where I literally can't progress the story until I get a certain amount of money.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that is, it's fine. But at the same point, it's like, I kind of feel like I'm hamstrung at this point.
Oh.
Like I want the freedom of like deciding whether I want to go on with the mission or not. Not like, okay, this is the part where I have to grind to get enough money.
You got to go pick up cans now?
Yeah, I got to do some can hunting.
Cans. All right. So that's my number 4. Wombat.
Number 3.
Everybody did number 4?
We all did number 4.
Okay.
All right. My number 3 game is Doom Eternal.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even remember you talking about this game at all.
I talked about that game actually for like 3 weeks in a row.
I zoned out.
I know, and I finished the game too. I almost 100%ed it. I think I got like 93%, which is a lot because there's a lot of collectibles in that game. I really enjoyed the heck out of that game. I know there were some people that weren't thrilled about the amount of platforming in it, but I actually kind of liked the amount of platforming in it. I thought it made it unique. I liked the leveling system and the weapons, and I even enjoyed replaying some of the levels. I really liked that game. It looks great, and it was, it was gross also, and I kind of like a fun, gross game, Sometimes you need that. You need to run around. It came out the same day as Animal Crossing. Also, again, this sort of height of the pandemic, right place, right time thing, where in between the passivity of playing Animal Crossing, I also needed the extreme violence of Doom. And it was like a perfect dichotomy at that time. And
Surf and turf.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a great single player experience that I highly recommend. It is on Game Pass now too, so check it out.
Have you played the expansion?
I have not. But a lot of fun.
Angeltron in the chat wanted to know.
Yeah.
All right, that's your number 3 favorite game. That was Doom Eternal.
I didn't even remember that game came out this year.
Yeah, right. But it did.
Good for it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it's really good. I'm sure I have a copy over here that I GCU'd at some point that I never played.
I remember it got good reviews. But I also remember not finishing the one before it.
I want to check it out. It's just
I like it better than the one before it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next.
Sure.
This one I think Shipwrecks is on Shipwreck's list too. I had to guess. Not 100% sure.
Captain Poop in the Poop Factory?
No. Streets of Rage 4. No?
Yeah.
It is not on my list.
Not on your list.
I enjoyed that game. I did not finish it.
Okay. My family and I, that was a game that we surprisingly came together to play a lot. Like every night we would play. We finished it. We played through it more than once, actually. And even Mrs. Cheapy got in on the action, and I was shocked because she only likes to watch usually, but if she'll play, it's got to be something like not like this. You would think just like something more like Lego or something where you can't like die or fuck up stuff for other people or the rest of the players. But somehow everything worked with Streets of Rage 4, and the animation was fantastic. It was really like a great length. I don't know. It was a great game. They really nailed it. And I would play
What did Streets of Rage 4 do right that Battletoads did wrong?
I did not play Battletoads.
Everything. Streets of Rage 4 is a well-tuned game that has great animation, and the graphics are really nice to look at.
They pop off the screen. Like everything looks like it looks like it cost a fortune.
No, I just think it's very interesting because both those games came out this year. They both have that
Battletoads
same.
was not good. That was the
I know,
difference.
and it's so. I don't. I'm not arguing with you. I just find it to be an interesting examination of two games that have similar legacies, and both came out with these highly anticipated reboots, I guess, this year. And one of them seems to have done it right, and the other one seems to have done it wrong. And I just find that very interesting.
It happens. I mean, yeah, Streets of Rage, it took the same core gameplay that was always there and just fancied it up graphics wise, right? Like
Yeah. That's
They
really
added
all
a little
they did.
more, I think, in terms of the variety of the moves.
And more
Yeah.
characters. Like there's more than 3.
where
Yeah.
where Battletoads was, and I didn't finish either of these games, not because I didn't finish Streets of Rage because Mrs. Shipwreck didn't take to it like Mrs. Cheapy
Interesting.
did.
Huh.
She thought it was fine, but she just doesn't like the beat 'em ups. Like
Okay.
she finds them boring, which is
Sure.
perfectly fine. Like beat 'em ups are oftentimes are very boring.
It's amazing
Um,
how much more we'll play of any game that our wives find interesting.
Yeah. Whereas Battletoads was it took the quirky parts of Battletoads and like lengthened them out for some reason, where it didn't make them any more fun. It just made it like, hey, this was kind of Battletoads. Did you want us to like make it longer?
Right.
Um,
Weird. Well, Streets of Rage 4 was just so good, and anything that they put out, like I'm there. I just wish they would milk it and just do GI Joe, Transformers, anything that they could fit in this anything that makes sense. I don't need to think of it, but so good.
All
right,
right,
that's-
Chip, you're up.
Yep. Number
Number
3.
three.
my number 3 is Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man.
Oh, I forgot
game.
that came out.
Well, that's because you don't have a PlayStation 5, right?
No, I do not, so I wouldn't have played it.
It's on
you can play that
PlayStation
on-
4.
It's on PlayStation 4 as well.
I know, I still haven't played it.
Just
I
out
know.
of principle, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think that's probably true for a lot of people, is they know there's a PlayStation 5 version and that's the place to play it. So if you're planning on getting a PlayStation 5 at some point, why would you play it on PlayStation 4?
Right.
Yep.
Something to look forward to. A treat.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it recently. It's a really good update / DLC of, I don't know, 2 years ago Spider-Man game. Is that when that last one came out? 2018. The story is a lot shorter and thus a lot more impactful, I think, than trying to stretch out a Spider-Man story over 40
Does
hours.
Uncle
of
Ben
game.
die?
Uncle Ben, he may be mentioned in this game. I don't remember if he's mentioned at all.
I'm sorry to hear that, Miles. That reminds me of when my Uncle Ben died.
Yeah, that could have been there.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it would have been higher if this was truly a full game
Sequel?
yeah, like a sequel rather than just more of the existing Spider-Man game. But more of the existing Spider-Man still is really good. Perhaps the best superhero game ever.
It's possible.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Batman's were good.
That's true. Those Batmans were really good.
Mhm.
So
All right.
Also, Dashel loves just playing that game as well. Like it's accessible on so many levels, but then it's complex as far as the combat goes.
Right.
So it's pretty remarkable what they can do, and just the scope of, I know they used a lot of the same assets from the last game, but the scope of like the Manhattan from the last game is pretty ridiculous.
Oh, cool. I'm looking forward to playing that when I finally get a PS5 and a new TV. It's going to be awesome. Where are we here? Everybody did their 3s.
we all did their 3s. So what's your number 2, GB?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Do you want to guess?
I know what your number 1's gonna be.
Okay, so guess my number 2.
I don't know if I can guess your number 2, knowing what
Chip,
your
I
number.
can.
Can I feel I know what your number 1 is as well. I don't
Yep.
I don't know what your number 2
Damn, I should have made my number 1 my number 2, and then I really would have rocked your worlds. All right, I'll just tell you then.
Okay.
Call of Duty,
Call of Duty
Warzone.
Warzone.
Oh, okay.
As soon as I was like, oh, I know what it is. I watched you play it today.
You watched me play it today. I've probably put in the most hours in that game this year, I would say. And it's a free game. And it's a, I admit that there's something to the internet gaming syndrome that I get, addicted to to online multiplayer games and battle royale. It's just battle royale. To me, there's nothing as exciting as a battle royale game. Like, I get sweaty when I play it. When I get down to like the last 10 or 20.
I don't know. I've never played one.
Do you get sweaty when you play Fortnite and you're down to
The way
last
we
10?
describe it at my house is when we, in a Fortnite round, when I'm like top 5, which happens a lot. Like it almost becomes a horror game where the space is really tight and you don't know where you can go and you don't want to turn a corner and get insta-killed.
Right.
And you got to find the right space. And as everything gets a little more claustrophobic, it almost becomes it's suspenseful. And yes, it's totally addicting, and it's an endorphin rush, especially if and when you do win, which happens every now and again as well. So, and there is something fun about that. Even, we talked about this briefly. My wife likes to watch me play that game, especially.
Wait, we're talking about Warzone now, or what?
No, like Fortnite.
No, we're talking about Fortnite.
How are we
Wombat's
on Fortnite?
Steered this back towards you said the word Fortnite, and Wombat
fuck.
just took it and ran with it.
Now let's talk about Call of Duty Warzone. Why is it so amazing? It's a gorgeous game.
First of all, it looks fantastic. Even I was playing on PC today, and DeFatty was watching me play, and he's like, "Damn!" He's like, "This game is you playing on PC? Like this game looks really good." They put out a new map today, which is the 40-man. It's a smaller map, 40 players, teams of 3, and I got my first victory, my first Warzone victory today.
I saw it. I can
Wombat
confirm.
was there. And it was actually good. Like I got a lot of kills in the match.
It was a really strong match.
Thank you. Wow, were you looking at me in a whole new light after that?
I was impressed. I said you did a very impressive job.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I mean, like I said, I played that game. Probably put the most hours into that game, even though that was my first win on the smaller map, and I never won on the big map. But they've done a great job of supporting the game, and it's free. Did I mention it was free?
Mm-hmm.
And the way it integrates with if you bought what was the other one called? Not
Cold War?
Not that one, but the one before.
Pre-Cold War.
Pre-Cold War. That's what it's called.
Modern Warfare.
Something. I'll
6.
I can't remember. Who knows? If you bought one of the last 2 games, they integrate the battle royale aspect into it and like into your loadouts and stuff, and it's all a vast tapestry. Anyway, that's my number 2 favorite game, Call of Duty Warzone.
Nice. Whose turn is it?
Yours.
All right. My number 2 game is. Wait, I guarantee you none of you can guess.
Oh.
You want to take a stab at
Well,
it?
if you say no, then I'm not going to. I probably don't know it. I agree with you.
Yeah. My number 2 game is someone K6 in the chat. Skyrim. No, it is not Skyrim. It is Maneater. The shark simulation game.
Okay.
That I 100%ed.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is it. Although albeit a short game, I really like that game. That game is a lot of fun. There's nothing else to it other than this game is a lot of fun.
You're a shark, and what else do you need to know?
Exactly.
Open water RPG.
It's a game. It says it right on the box. You're gonna be a shark. You're gonna eat a whole lot of crap. Go to town. I really like that. That game is a lot of fun.
I will play it.
It's really, you should play it if you haven't. I'm sure it's pretty cheap right now somewhere. And it has a really interesting leveling system. I even like the gear system in that game is surprisingly
you get gear.
Yeah, you get gear for your shark. And you can get matching gear sets. I mean, there's more going on than just swimming and eating people, but at the end of the day, you're just swimming and eating people. Right. And there's also something satisfying about becoming that full-size shark, when you reach, the end game and going back to the smaller areas just to devour everything because you can, when it was so difficult, 7 hours earlier in the game.
Right.
Okay.
So and I was like, yeah, Maneater, great
Man-Eater.
game.
I believe
Yeah.
there's next gen upgrades for that.
There is. I haven't checked it out yet, only because I played that whole game, but
I gotta grab that when it's
Yeah.
probably like you said. I think I saw it for like $13. If I
Yeah,
could,
it keeps on going on sale for like $15 or less.
I gotta find a digital copy of that for something
Mhm.
around that price. Cool, Maneater. Number
Maneater.
2 for
number
Wombat.
2.
Ship, you're number 2.
My number 2
Mm-hmm.
it is a game called Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2.
Good name.
It is a really good name. I think I've said this before, but they didn't screw it up somehow. I put a lot of time into this game. I want to play more of this game. I haven't played it here in about a month, and I know they just added a whole bunch of new content to it as well. Man, that game is really good still. That is.
Now, did we ever find out if Spider-Man and Wolverine are in that game?
They not unless they added them recently. They are not.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So yeah, I mean, I've gone through. I've nearly gotten all the gaps at this point. I took a break. I literally have like maybe 5 gaps to go. But then they went back and
How
they
many
fixed,
Banana Republics?
I got all the Banana Republics already. I collected those. They fixed the things after the fact that I haven't not gone back to it since this point, where you didn't have all the goals if you played it all as different characters, so you couldn't play through the game over and over again. Now they've fixed that, so now I can play through the game over and over again and get all the goals again.
Sweet.
So yes, I'm really happy about the game. I want to install it. I have not tried it on the next gen consoles yet to see how it plays on there. But
Ooh, probably quick load times.
yeah, I'm sure the load times are ridiculously fast on that now.
Totally worth it for that.
All right.
All right, no, now the big ones. Rolling into number 1.
I'll go first since you guys
Okay.
both know. Everybody knows my number 1 pick.
Oh, wait, can I guess?
Yes.
Is
Fortnite.
it Call of Duty Warzone?
Yes. No, it's Ghost of Tsushima.
What? I don't even remember you
oh, it's-
talking about that game.
Look, it's flashing behind me. That means Ghost of Tsushima. No. Yeah, that's the open world action game that sort of ruined open world action games for me, and that's why when I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it was really hard to get into it because Tsushima they turned that experience into more of a cinematic experience where even just getting from point A to point B is visually exciting. And even just getting into a fight is visually interesting and cinematic. And Assassin's Creed doesn't really pull that off. And I think they've tried to do it more so in Valhalla with there's like a button to push for like cinematic, literally for like cinematic stuff. But it's not the same. I think because they had these old samurai films to draw from, they had like sort of like a cheat book that they could copy off of and say, hey, if we could make our video game look like this, I think we could have something here. And they did. They did that, and they did. The story was good. The fighting was good. Great job. Mrs. Cheapy agrees too. I consulted with her before the show, and she answered very quickly.
Okay, now we're gonna have Shipwreck talk about a game we already talked about.
I want to play that Ghost game too. It's on my very short list of next up games.
Oh,
I
it's
wanna
gonna be
play that game a
crazy
lot,
on PS5 too.
Yeah, that's the next game I want to play on PS5 is that.
I don't have
unless
a
the next Kamen
PS5.
Rider game that I imported comes.
There you go.
Wombat, do you have a PS5?
No, I don't have a PS5.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
I don't have Ghost of Tsushima or a PS5.
You could solve one of those things.
I could solve one of those very easily. I know.
One of those, not so much.
I could fix one of those problems.
Okay, Shipwreck. You're telling us.
Yes, my number 1, as Wombat said, it's something we've already talked about. It's the Marvel season of Fortnite.
Yes. Which was your favorite character?
Yeah, who'd you like? Was it Storm? You strike me as a Storm. Did you
Yeah,
get all the
I-
rainbow foils.
Yeah, I got all of the ridiculous shit that you put on the characters and did all of that stuff, all the missions. Fantastic.
You built the towers and you fell off the things.
all of them. I went to
Oh.
all the concerts. I did it all.
So Diplo as Wolverine.
Yeah, he was there. Deadpool came in. It was great. No, it's Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Right.
I'm about 40 hours into it. I like I said, I'm going to take my time and finish this because it's just so quirky. Like I play it about 2 hours a night, right? After the kids go to bed, and I enjoy getting absolutely nothing done, it seems like, in that 2 hours.
Totally.
Right. But everything about it is definitely up my alley. Like it's got the checklist that you go through, infinite checklists of things to do. It's amazing. Like it's an open world game, but it's a confined city, right? Like it doesn't look like the map's that big, but it's so densely populated with stuff to do.
Right.
And I haven't even gotten into like the business management sim that much. Like I've dabbled in it, but
Yeah.
I know that that's there and something that I want to do. But right now, I just go through a lot of cutscenes that Wombat would skip, and I enjoy those.
Is Mrs. Ship watching?
She is.
Okay.
She's watching, like at the same time she's playing what's that character's name? Goramon? Is that his name? Is that the cat?
Doraemon.
Doraemon. Yeah, she's playing the Story of Seasons Doraemon game
Okay.
on the Switch. At the same time, but like anytime there's a cutscene, she immediately like looks up to like see what nonsense is going on. And it's very much an appreciation of how ridiculous this game is. Like she can clearly see like this is an excellent game that is completely ridiculous at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, and I've dabbled in Yakuza games. I've finished a couple of them in the past. This one, I think, with the low stakes of the Japanese RPG turn-based, it just makes it easier to just get in there and not have to worry about the combat so much.
I'm going to try the auto like you suggested.
Yeah,
that sounds like a
and
good call.
The characters are so good. Ichiban is so good as a character. Like
I feel like if you were playing in Japanese, you would enjoy it more almost, because even not knowing what the dude is saying, the voice is so good. Like it's you. I mean, you can almost. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be a different experience almost if you're hearing it a different actor.
The amazing thing is like this game versus Cyberpunk, right? Like that they can pull this game off, and it's like such an enjoyable experience. While Cyberpunk is floundering about, fumfering, I guess, or is that what it's doing?
Learning. You use it right. Yep.
What an educational show this is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think Yakuza Like a Dragon, I think, is a game that maybe most people might not finish just because it's pretty long, but I think whatever time they put into it, they would enjoy it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, that's your number one, and I guess we're done. Oh, there's one more. Wombat didn't go yet. Sorry, I forgot.
Which Ubisoft game is it, Wombat?
It's Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Okay, there we go.
I completed that game over the weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it immensely from the minute I started playing it until the minute I finished it. It's a really fun game. It doesn't aspire to be any more than it is, which I like. It's a video game. It's an open world video game. There's a lot of there's a lot of icons on the map. It borrows from a lot of games that came before it, like your Breath of the Wilds and your Assassin's Creeds. And that's okay if you put it all in a package that's fun and enjoyable and accessible. I know a lot of people crap on that, and I don't understand why. Because sometimes you need to have, for every game that overstretches itself, like your Yakuza Like a Dragons, that are doing something wild and new and out of the box, I think it's sometimes nice to also have another game you can go to that reminds you, like, oh yeah, and this is what video games are like also. And in this world, there's room in the world for both, is what I'm saying. That our picks are complementary in many ways. So
I checked it out. I actually
I saw you streamed a little bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to the another game where you have to play for like a couple of hours before you get to the title screen.
Yes.
But it was a nice title reveal, and the game looks like it really opens up and gets pretty at that point. A lot of greenery.
Yes. It's a very green game.
Yeah, it
It's a
looked
very
cool.
colorful game, and
I like
it's
the
not
art style. People don't like people were shitting on the art style, but I kind of like it.
Me too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just a hard sell as a game, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think you look at it and you're like, what is this? Some sort of Breath of the Wild ripoff?
Yes.
Is it Assassin's Creed for kids?
Yes.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, kinda. Yeah, it's a little of both these things, but how is that? How is that bad? And a lot of people in the chat are like, but you disliked Breath of the Wild. Why do you like this? And I like this because it takes everything I didn't like about Breath of the Wild. I didn't like that I was constantly running out of weapons because they would break. You don't break weapons in this game. It didn't have there are more carrots in this game. It's more my style. There's lots of armor to collect, lots of helmets to collect, lots of checklists and doodads and helmets and challenges. And I just enjoy that style of game a little bit more. So it's like Breath of the Wild, but it also isn't like Breath of the Wild. I do like the puzzles. I do like those dungeon. You did one of those GPS, so you do it where you screwed it up. But
I got there, man. Well, no, I got to go back.
You got to go back. But I like the challenge. I like those puzzles. I like that there are more than one challenge in most of those, where sometimes you have to go back to it when you've unlocked that ability to do something that you couldn't do before. Like you didn't have that gliding ability, so you couldn't really take full advantage of what you could get in that first dungeon.
Makes sense.
So, and I kind of like that about this game.
It's more accessible than Breath of the Wild in a lot of ways. Like
significantly. Well, it has the difficulty adjustments, even just like that alone makes it more accessible. Where if you're really don't want to deal too much with dying, you can set it to easy. Yeah. Which is nothing wrong with that. And then there's a setting even below that. There's even story mode. So
you don't even need to play autoplay.
Yeah. I just saying. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know how easy story mode is. I didn't check it out. But it's a lot.
Why is the name of this game so bad?
It was originally called, I believe, Gods and Monsters.
Yeah.
That's better.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't allowed to use that name because of the movie Gods and Monsters.
That makes sense.
That's fine. But they could have used something else besides this name, right?
Yeah.
This name is really bad.
Yep, the game has a bad name, but it's
Zeus.
A very
they could have
good
called
game.
it like anything with Zeus in the title would probably be good. Like that's tried and true name. I mean something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in the game naming business.
Could be.
Typhon's Revenge. Would you have played that?
Nah. Zeus. Let's go with the names that we know. Like
well, there was a game called Zeus on the PC.
Well,
I think even like you could like rearrange these. Take the Phoenix part out of this. Like Rise of the Immortals. Like that's a better name than Immortals : it's Phoenix spelled funky rising. That's the name of this game, right? Immortals: Phoenix Rising. I can't even remember what the name of this game is.
But Rising, I think, is a bad word too.
FENY.
Rise of is better than Rising. Although I get it when they say Phoenix Rising, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it seems like a solid game, and it's your number one pick.
Yeah.
Your favorite game of 2020.
Yeah, it really was.
So we only had one crossover game between all of our picks, and that was Yakuza?
No, Wombat and I both had Animal Crossing.
Yeah, we both got it.
There was Animal Crossing and there was Yakuza.
Damn. Well, I guess those are our favorite 2 games of the year as a group.
If
we have to pick 2. I don't know how this works.
I don't think that it works that way, but sure.
All right. That's our fave 5 of 2020. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, everybody.
What's that?
Good job, everybody.
Yeah, at least we played 5 games.
Except for that Fortnite pick.
That's a fine pick. I support that one, man. I'm with you on that, dude. That's fine.
I'm fine with that as well.
I put like 9,000 hours into Fortnite this year.
Yeah, I mean,
it's getting on the list.
It's like I said, Fortnite 2 is not coming out.
No, and I wanted my list to include games I finished this year. And that technically counts. I could have put Avengers on there instead, but Avengers is too.
We would have had to talk about Avengers again then.
Yeah.
Right. You guys, we should post this list. People like to see the list in print. So
That's
if you guys
fine.
could
They're
cut
gonna
and
see that I
paste-
picked GI Joe then.
Yeah, cut and paste that into
You know
this
what? The
outline.
people who made the GI Joe game are going to be so happy.
They will be probably. Like not many people will probably pick that.
Yeah.
As their-
I bet the Phoenix Rising people will say thank you, even maybe.
I'm sure. Yeah, it didn't make a lot of lists. Here, put your lists in the document if you can, so I can use it later. Because otherwise, I'm gonna
Ugh.
forget. I think we probably did enough show, and we should be allowed to go to sleep and at least watch the snow fall. And I'm glad the power didn't go out while we were doing the show, because that would be bad. Do we want to talk about? Is there anything else we need to talk about on this outline, or should we wrap it?
I don't know. I doubt there's
can
anything
wrap
on
it
the
up.
outline we need to.
Right. Okay. Well, let's remind everybody that we record the show every Wednesday. Maybe not next Wednesday because it's Christmas or something. Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/cheapassgamer. Join the CAG Discord, discord.gg. discord.gg/CAG. And what about our sponsor, Wombat? What about that?
Yeah, HelloFresh. Go to hellofresh.com/80CAGcast and use code 80CAGcast to get $80 off, including free shipping.
Nice. All right, who should we raid? Let's raid Lord Grim again, because last time I raided him, he was playing some song and it got DMCA'd or whatever, and I couldn't use the audio. So it ruined it for me. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you not next week, but there'll probably be one more show before the end of the year, unless something happens. Thank you.
Bread's done.